AT&T customers? Frustrated you're stuck in a 3-year device contract? Bring T-Mobile your locked phone, trade it in, and T-Mobile will pay it off up to $650 and give you a new 5G phone free. Plus, you're upgrade ready in just 2 years. Free your phone now at T-Mobile.
Pay off via virtual prepaid MasterCard in 15 days. Free phone via 24 monthly bill credits for well qualified. Plus tax. Contact us before canceling. To continue bill credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement is due. See T-Mobile.com.
Talk Radio 960, KROF AM, an Acadiana tradition.
Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this news just coming in for all of you Kroger shoppers. It looks like they're trying out an entirely self-checkout experience. They're turning one of their grocery stores into 100% self-checkout. And this drives me nuts. This is the worst part about the grocery shopping experience because they don't give you any company benefits. You don't have access to the break room, right? But you got to do all the work. So I can appreciate that we've got lawmakers up on Capitol Hill that are wanting to hold these big hearings on UFOs and whatnot. But if we want to investigate, we need to investigate the grocery stores. That's what we need. Why am I not getting paid? That's what I want to know. Let's go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Good to have with us from the great state of Florida, Congressman Greg Steube. Congressman, if you hold hearings on Kroger's self-checkout lines, I will testify.
Okay, we'll put you down on the list.
Thank you. I will volunteer. I will take one for the country, Congressman. Look, we appreciate you coming on the show today. There is a lot happening up on Capitol Hill. And, of course, the breaking news of the hour, this plea deal that Hunter Biden had, the judge says, I don't understand this, people. And so now we understand it's broken down and Hunter Biden pleading not guilty. Are you surprised? I want to get your reaction to what happened today.
Well, I'm glad that there's a judge that is willing to look at this fairly and question the prosecution and giving this sweetheart deal to Hunter Biden. Our chairman of the Ways and Means Committee yesterday, I believe, or the day before, sent as an amicus brief all the testimony from the IRS whistleblowers that state that all of these crimes were committed by Hunter Biden and they're not charging him for them. There was crimes that were committed in 14 and 15, and the Department of Justice slow-walked those investigations so that the statute of limitation deliberately would toll so that the most serious felonies he wouldn't be charged with, and now the federal government's prohibited from bringing those cases. So it's nice that there's at least a pause to look at all of the corruption of the DOJ in their investigation with Hunter Biden. So hopefully this thing will go to trial, and the American people and the jurors will have the opportunity to see all of this evidence. The challenge is you have a prosecution team that's in line with the defense team to try to give him the best sweetheart deal available because they're working together in concert because we have a completely politicized DOJ right.
No doubt about that. And the fact that the DOJ had this deal gone through, they weren't even going to ask for jail time. They were going to just let him go on probation. Any other American citizen would be spending hard time in jail, if not on the tax charges, definitely on that gun charge.
Just the gun charge alone is a 10-year mandatory minimum. And they're just going to give him 2 years probation for all of the tax crimes that he's committed. And then the felony gun crime. I mean, it's absurd. You and I would not be treated with this type of treatment if we had similar fact patterns. No other American would be treated similarly. And then you see what they're doing to President Trump. The real president who should be indicted on corruption charges is President Joe Biden, but they're going after and using this politicized weaponization of the DOJ to make up crimes against President Trump to try to distract from the corrupt president that's currently inhabiting the White House.
I've been paying very close attention to these polls, and of late they've been asking Republican voters specifically about whether or not these indictments are having any sort of an impact on their vote. And Congressman, I am pleasantly surprised that an overwhelming number of Republicans say, no, this does not bother us. We understand that this is entirely political.
And it actually goes the other way. Every time they indict him for some ridiculous crime that he didn't commit, and there's not evidence of it, his numbers go up because the average American people see the corruption that is currently inhabiting the White House, the millions of dollars of the Biden family. Joe Biden, now we have evidence of the $5 million in this Ukraine Burisma deal that the president was a part of. You see all of this corruption, and then you see his DOJ, Biden's DOJ, going after President Trump on things like January 6th and the classified documents case when Joe Biden has classified documents in his garage next to his Corvette. I mean, all of these things, the American people are smart enough to see there is two systems of justice right now in our country, one for Democrats and one for Republicans. And then you have the election interference, the number one opponent to take on Joe Biden on the Republican side next year is Trump, and Joe Biden's DOJ is using their power to go after him and try to prosecute him and take him out.
It's unbelievable. And yet the mainstream media, they turn a blind eye to all of this. They're not even covering the Hunter Biden stuff. It's just mind-blowing that they're going to be able to get away with this. And I'm really hoping that if you guys take control of the Senate, we take back the White House, do you think, Congressman, that we are going to be able to hold people accountable for what they've done here?
Absolutely. And we're going to – this Congress, this Republican House isn't over. I'm working on an impeachment resolution specifically on Joe Biden and the corruption charges, the public corruption charges, the bribery charges that we now have evidence on. I think there's so much overwhelming evidence on those fact patterns and the instances that have occurred that the House needs to hold those leaders accountable. Now, I understand the political process and know we need 60 votes to remove any of these individuals in the Senate, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it in the House and hold people accountable so the American people can see exactly what's been going on.
So you're confident because, Fox and Friends this morning, Steve Doocy was saying, well, you guys don't really have anything on Biden.
Oh, there's a whole litany of evidence. The latest is Grassley's release, I think it was last week or a few days ago, about recordings that the FBI has and the form that the FBI has that Joe Biden was involved in received the $5 million on the Burisma deal to have that prosecutor fired. I mean, we have the tape of him bragging about that out there. So there's a ton of evidence of crimes that have been committed by Joe Biden himself. You can't charge a sitting president, but you can impeach him on these crimes.
All right. Well, Congressman, we're going to be paying very close attention to this. Glad you're all over the story, and we appreciate the great work you're doing in Congress.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, Congressman Greg Steube on the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line today. I hope they get to the bottom of it, but, the Republicans, they look